So the Naruto franchise in particular, where's it moving forward? Now, we obviously had Naruto, we had Naruto Shippuden, we had a little bit of the time period of the Naruto the Last story, and then of course we got the Boruto timeline where the story is currently at. But moving forward, assuming that Naruto and the Boruto and the entire franchise as a whole is going to continue to be successful, we know when things like that are successful, and as much as they've stretched the story out and continue to give us sequels and whatnot, that there's a high probability that the story will move forward and we'll get something else even after Boruto. But what exactly will that be? Let's talk about it.
I say we gonna do what we do, no matter how you move, make your move. That's how it be though.
So obviously, after Naruto Shippuden's story ended, after the original Naruto manga finished, we had, of course, Naruto versus Sasuke. It was a wrap. We did get a little bit of seeing what the Naruto the Last, a couple years after the Naruto manga ended, the Naruto story, original story ended, what that time period was like, but we didn't really focus too much on that. I know the Shippuden anime gave us a little glimpse of what happened during that time with Sasuke traveling and all of that jazz. So we got a little bit of that, and then again, we went to Boruto, where we're at currently right now, with Naruto becoming Hokage, Sasuke basically wandering around searching for clues regarding the Otsutsuki, and mainly and primarily focusing in on the new gen. And regardless of what and how much I love the Boruto manga, and that it definitely, especially compared to the anime, feels like it is the true successor to the Naruto anime, I don't think any Naruto fan can deny that they much rather have had a story and a sequel that focuses in on Naruto, Sasuke, and all of those characters that we absolutely love and adore. Like, even the Boruto franchise, and I talked about this on another video recently, but even with the Boruto franchise as a whole, they could have had the kids and still focused in on Naruto and Sasuke's adventures, whether it be that, Naruto being the Hokage, but there's a crazy threat where he has to travel to different villages or whatever. There's so many ideas that they could have went with, but obviously the anime studio seemingly controlled the narrative for this particular one, and instead they wanted to rebrand and get a whole new audience. I do think there's a lot of variables to that from what I hear about decisions such as this one in particular. A lot of that is the studio gets more money, more of a budget, because it's a brand new IP, and they feel as though like investors like, oh, okay, this is something new, we could throw a ton of money at it. So I think that's one of the big reasons why they decided to do a rebrand, and essentially again, it gives a chance at a whole new audience, people that are like, well, I'm not gonna watch 500 episodes of Naruto, and I'm not gonna read 700 chapters of Naruto, but I'll check out this Boruto series. I mean, it seemingly it's its own thing, right? Because of course Boruto focuses in on the new gen characters, and of course that's been met with not that exciting reviews. I mean, the anime, especially in the West, I know in Japan the anime is doing pretty well. It's actually very successful in comparison to its manga counterpart, but in the West, majority of people do not like the Boruto anime. The amount of anime original stories that people just say, hey, it's filler, you know what I'm saying, it's just straight up filler. It feels strenuous. I mean, there is 153 episodes as of the recording of this video, or 153, 154, and we've adapted 15 chapters of the manga, and the manga again is the good stuff. So we've had 15 chapters of the good stuff, and then just a whole bunch of anime original that is miss, hey, that's a hit, miss for it's crazy. So once Boruto finishes its controversial run, right, where are they gonna go with it? I mean, there's always a possibility that after Boruto they could just put the Naruto series to rest and that's it, never again, it's over, which I just don't see that happening. Naruto is such a big breadwinner for all these publishing companies. That's the main reason, of course, why they continue with Boruto, why Naruto had so many films, why Boruto got an anime before the manga was barely off of its feet, why it has a manga as well. Like, the franchise is so huge that I mean, it's a possibility, but I just don't see them ending it after Boruto. And I mean, there's plenty of other IPs that do similar things where it's like it continues on and on with spin-off after spin-off. I mean, look at JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. There was what, 6 parts that were full-length series that was in one timeline, and then there's like 2 more that is like an alternate reality with parts 7 and 8. So a lot of different possibilities that they could do with the Naruto story. I mean, they could try a whole new reboot after Boruto, so they could definitely do that, which I personally would not be interested in, a reboot of like, hey, Naruto and Sasuke and the whole story, but from a different angle and different twist. Like, No, not with Naruto. I don't want to see that. And to be honest with you, I feel as though in a weird way, Boruto kind of does that. Like, if you look at the way things are being set up, and of course, what we know is going to happen with Kawaki, Boruto and Kawaki are legit reboots in a sense of Naruto and Sasuke. It's just continuing the timeline in a sequel aspect, but reusing elements and kind of giving subtle nods to the things that we know and love from the story. Now that we got all of that set up out the way, so where we see where my idea is going to, I definitely think for a future Naruto series, if they were going to do something, it would be to run it back. Run it back. Once Boruto ends, the audiences is going to be a lot older. They probably already, a lot of the Boruto fans went back and checked out the story of Boruto's dad and will be ready, because they'll grow with the series, for more mature stuff like how Naruto used to be. Because Boruto, we know, especially the anime, I gotta keep stressing the anime, it feels a lot more kiddie and a lot more dumbed down than Naruto ever was. And I think with a new Naruto story, we should go to the future, definitely. Like, I don't want to go back to the past. I mean, as cool as it would have been to have like a Sasuke series, I would have loved that, to be honest with you. I don't think we're gonna go backwards, because one of the big things that keeps everybody interested in the Naruto story is, well, what's happening now and, you know, the latest events in the ninja world. So in my idea, I say, let's go probably 15-20 years into the future. At this particular point, Naruto will be a lot older, Boruto will be a lot older, Sarada will probably be at this particular point Hokage. So you'd have Sarada Hokage, Boruto as like her Shikamaru to, you know, her Naruto, you know what I'm saying? Boruto be Shikamaru, she'll be Naruto as far as running the office and whatnot, which would put them out of commission. Because don't get me wrong, we could see them from time to time, so that the major hardcore Boruto fans, all 2 of you guys out there, again, I gotta keep saying it, the anime, we love the manga, I'm just ridiculing the anime, bear with me. Move them out the way, whether it be that they have a child together, and that child, which that'll be an OP ass child, just think about it, like all of Naruto's genes and all of Sasuke's genes into one particular character, assuming that Kawaki doesn't turn out to somehow have their DNA in him as well with all the experimentation that was done, and have basically Grandpa Naruto traveling the world with his grandson or granddaughter or both on different adventures, different missions. Because you got to think too, if Naruto sat at the Hokage office for like, I don't know, how long has he been Hokage in the Boruto story? It hasn't been that long at all, right? Like, he got inducted when Boruto was, before he joined the academy, but he was already a little bit older, so he's only been Hokage for a couple years at max. And he's already been rusty, right? Because one of the conflicts at the story, and I think one of the troubles that the Naruto story has been having, which is why they decided late into the series to tell Kishimoto, yo, Madara can't be the final villain, we need a big setup for characters that we could use moving forward into this Boruto story, the Otsutsuki. I think if it wasn't for the Otsutsuki, they would absolutely have a miserable time trying to figure out threats and ways to have a credible threat in the story. So aging up these characters like Naruto and Sasuke, making them rusty. If Naruto's already rusty and he's only been Hokage for a couple years, imagine how much more weaker he's going to be as an older man. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's of course the stereotype that the OGs in anime and manga are legendarily strong, and I'm sure that'll be the case in certain times, but it will again also make it so that whatever threats this shinobi world may be facing at the time, Naruto can't just immediately be the answer. This kid, which will probably be a massive prodigy, incredibly strong, gifted with Sharingan, Rinnegan, Uzumaki genes, all sorts of shit, can grow up and actually have a shot at being the main protagonist without us looking back and thinking, damn, Naruto and Sasuke could get rid of this dude. Which of course, at that particular point, assuming that Naruto and Sasuke survived the Boruto story and they're not killed off, which I'm more and more starting to doubt that that's actually going to happen, despite the early on theories of like, yo, they're dead, they might just be in another dimension. You know, you have from time to time Sasuke show up. It's going to be funny seeing him older and still being a vagabond, like, yeah, I'm still neglecting my wife and my daughter, fam. Yeah. But you know, from time to time, whether it be that there's threats in different shinobi villages or different, you know, shinobi countries that Naruto has to go and take care of, because now Sarada is the Hokage, so he's deciding to take on like the mantle of like a messenger, so to speak, or just, you know, gathering intel and doing different things now that he's free from sitting in that desk all day, and him just traveling to different shinobi villages and seeing that, you know, if the motto of Naruto has always been the next generation surpasses the previous, right? And we're already one generation removed, and don't get me wrong, like the start has been wow. You know what I'm saying? These kids is they've never experienced war like all the previous generations. Boruto and them, they're just now getting into some issues with Kara and them. They haven't experienced the hardships of what all the predecessors that they've had have had to go through. But just imagine 2 or 3 more generations removed, how much stronger these kids can be. And especially if this kid turns out to be like Sarada and Boruto's kid, it'll be really hacks. And at the same time, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You keep Naruto as like, you know, a main protagonist in the story. You bring him back in to become a main protagonist. And I don't know if Kishimoto would be even interested in ever returning to the Naruto story, whether it be with this type of spin-off or whatever, but oh god, that would be incredible. But again, you kill 2 birds, 1 stone. Naruto is involved because he's the one traveling on these missions and whatnot, but you also have this kid, this hypothetical offspring of Boruto and Sarada that could play the main, you know, new generation. Of course, we'd see Orochimaru from time to time. It would be probably absolutely hilarious to see that he still looks the same age, if not younger, than the very first time we ever saw him in the series. Yeah, he'll probably look even young. He'll probably be a teenager at this particular point, like the amount of body hopping he'll continue to do. Which, come to think about it, I gotta make a video about how the hell he's getting away with still passing on his body without the leaf taking him down, considering Yamato is watching him. Another video for another time. And it'd be so exciting to see, like, just like with Boruto, except we didn't really explore it as much and we didn't get to go to their villages. Like, okay, well, who's the new Raikage? Who's the new Mizukage, Kazekage, all of that jazz. Seeing Gaara's adopted son, what he turns out to be. Is he the Kazekage at that particular point? Because we know that some of these Boruto characters are, even 10, 20 years from now, probably still going to reign as the leader of their villages. I don't think Darui maybe might not be at that particular point the, you know, Raikage, but some of them will hold on to it. I think one of the big things about this potential new series that I would like as well is stay away from Konoha. Like, we've already, you know, even with Boruto right now, one of the big things is like, oh my god, in the beginning we see the destruction of Konoha. We've seen it with Pain. We've seen it with Orochimaru early on. Now we're seeing it in Boruto. I think with the next series, again, let's leave Konoha aside for a long time. It'll give an excuse to, obviously, if it's passing the mantle to this next hypothetical character, have Boruto and Sarada excluded, Boruto having to stay by Sarada's side as she's Hokage, Naruto leaving the village now that he's able to maneuver around, taking this kid with him. And it'd even be funny, like, because what would be like, you know, 10, 20 years from now, Himawari, maybe Naruto, an adult Himawari, and then this grandson moving around, or who knows, maybe it could be Himawari's kid as well. Occasionally we return to Konoha, of course, Naruto to see Hinata, and you know, it'd be interesting to see if Naruto ended up turning out like Pervy Sage, like if he turns into a perv and when he's away from Hinata he's with binoculars and shit like that. I would die of laughter and love it. And there's just so many possibilities. New eye techniques, again, as the generations keep on going, mutations, the Rinnegan could be like, you know, a short stop from something incredibly even after the fact. Like, there's so many possibilities. And again, one of the main staple factors that would, or 2 of the main staple factors that would allow the threats to continue to get more vigorous and crazier is the fact that, well, 1, Naruto and Sasuke, especially Naruto, won't be able to be those legendary shinobi they once were to take out whatever credible threat comes their way. They're a lot older, and Naruto, again, he gets rusty. And also, the new gen, because the next gen is always stronger than the last gen, they surpassed them, will be able to take on the threats. Now, what could be the threat will probably be one of the main factors. It could be that the shinobi world is at war again, this time, like, you know, the 5th grade, 6th grade, whatever at that particular point would happen, shinobi war, where let's just say the leaders that follow after the leaders that we have right now, after Gaara, after Naruto, they don't see eye to eye with that, let's be united, all of that shit. They might say, yo, screw all of that, we want to, you know, whatever, and we could have a massive war where Naruto is trying to quail tensions by traveling to different villages and different nations to get things going and kind of settle shit. And that right there could be one of the biggest threats. And then alongside, if they decide to pull some shit from the past, I don't know if Madara's gonna show up in Boruto or not, but there's always Edo Tensei if you really need to redig some ideas, which I know most people aren't too fond of that. Me personally, I love seeing shit from the past come back, whether it be for short reasons or whatever, but Madara's return in Naruto with Edo Tensei was legendary. Who knows, maybe at this particular point Sasuke could be dead and the Edo Tensei his ass back, like, you never know. And overall, if there was a series after Boruto, I think this would be the one that I would love to see. Naruto once again reclaiming main character, main protagonist, with his grandson traveling through the shinobi world, seeing the differences, seeing the new techniques, seeing new threats, a whole massive war going on. Again, occasionally seeing Sarada as Hokage with Boruto, but really kind of leaving them out the way to make way for this next story. And just all around, this could be an incredible thing to introduce as the next Naruto story if they decide to continue the franchise after Boruto. But I'm curious, what would you guys want to see from a sequel to Boruto, or, you know, a Naruto? What would this be technically? I guess anime-wise it'd be part 4, but manga-wise it'd be part 3, right? Would you like my idea with a new gen, but mainly bringing Naruto as like the main character once again and seeing Sasuke from time to time? Or would you want a whole reboot of the franchise? I know there's gonna be people saying, end it after Boruto. Cool. That's not what I want, so yeah. Or would you want to see Boruto and Sarada as Hokage and the Boruto next generations with Soruto or some shit like, oh, please don't. Please don't. After this one, bring it back. Bring it back in. Come on, man. The overall thoughts and expectations for the Naruto Boruto franchise moving forward. All I can say is, if they do a sequel, and it is with these characters, make the characters that we initially fell in love with once again return as main protagonists. And I mean, hey, you want money, Shonen Jump, right? You want Shueisha, you like money? You like great ideas, smash hits? Naruto as a grandfather rolling around with his grandson and shit? That sounds awesome. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in, and whatever comes after Boruto down the road, I'm looking forward to it.
Everything good always comes to an end. If you stab me in my back, we can never make amends. Trying to move to acceptance, hard to accept it. Mistakes like mirrors, gotta reflect it. I don't wanna fucking leave, but I gotta leave. Leave the maybes to the crazies. Maybe one day there I go, admitting something in a subtle way. No more copies, leave without a trace.